family would look at me and laugh at me, and people would just say, God, look at Mark, and look at what happened to him. He's a little funny, and he's slow and stupid. And so I said nothing, but all the time I'm mad. I'm getting this defense inside. My self-esteem is going down. But still in the back of my mind, I can hear this voice saying, you're going to be somebody. You're going to do something. You can make it. Keep your chin up. And I remember the teacher got convicted. A good friend of mine named Garrett, they went into the home and found him in the shower with this young boy. And I talked to Garrett. Garrett ran to me and said, Mark, please tell him you can't let him know what happened. They got me, but you can't say anything because you can't say nothing. I said, Garrett, I promise I won't say nothing. So we didn't. And I carried that burden with me. And life got rough, and Mama kept on beating me, and my dad was drinking and everything, and both my mom and dad were drinking. See, alcoholism in the family was rough, because see, where I come from, when my mom and dad would drink, my mom and dad would have what's called spade night. And that's when we had this old, brown, dingy, it was called card table. It had a little rip down the middle, you know what I mean? And Mama and Daddy would call over the friends. There'd be 6 to 10 of them around, and they'd start playing spades, and they started about 7 o'clock at night. And you could tell by how hard people were throwing the spades down, how much juice was running through the veins. And when people started cussing and Mama started getting belligerent, I knew that I had 2 choices. It was either I was on her good side or I was on her bad side. And you never wanted to be on Mama's bad side, because to be on Mama's bad side meant that you was going to get it. To be on Mama's bad side meant there was a beating coming. To be on Mama's bad side, it meant that you was going to get busted in the mouth. Something was going to happen. And some days I'd be on Mama's good side, and some days I'd be on Mama's bad side. And Mama would beat up my dad, beat me up, and my dad would never hit my mom, and Mama would just beat Dad up. And I'm like, man, did Mama come and beat me up, you know? And my dad never came to my rescue. And I said to myself, man, this is all there is. Mama's going to kill me. And one day my daddy leaves, and Mama's mad. And Mama goes back to the back room, and she brings out the family gun. And Mama puts the gun to the back of my head, and she says, boy, I'll blow your brains out, because you're not worth the air you breathe anyway. Now say something. And I'm sitting there scared to death, wondering, is this the way I'm going to end my life? And Mama, is she really going to do this? Well, Mama put the gun away, and there was many other times Mama would do things and chase us out and shoot guns in the house, and it was just a rough life. When I went on to about the age of 14, and well, at 14 years old, I come home one day from school, and Mama's sick. Mama continues to get more sick, and then eventually Mama goes to the hospital, and Mama's diagnosed with massive brain cancer. 3 months later to the date, Mama's dead. And I'm 14 years old, having a mother who's now died, wondering where my real mama is, and now I'm stuck with a father who's in his mid-60s, who I've never built a relationship with. I'm thinking that maybe me and my dad can get close because Mama's gone. But see, my father had been married previously, and my dad's first wife died of massive brain cancer in the same way my mom did. So my father becomes an alcoholic, and I become a juvenile delinquent. And I dropped out of school at 15 years old, and I started selling drugs. And I was on the street, as the kids call it, I'm on the block. And I'm involved in drugs, I'm doing drugs, I'm selling drugs, and then here comes gangs, here comes Crips and Bloods. And Crips and Bloods comes, and all of a sudden, you wearing red, you wearing blue, what is it? Or then there's little gangs in between. So I really don't want to be a Crip, really don't want to be a Blood, so I just want to be a part of something, so I just joined the gang anyway. And I got involved in this gang for protection, because if you didn't become a part of something in my neighborhood, if you didn't have some people to protect you, it was hard to make it. So I joined the gang. We started stealing stuff. We started stealing cars, and breaking into people's homes. We started breaking into churches. We was ruthless. You couldn't tell me nothing. And I hated the world. I hated myself. I hated my dad. I hated my mama. And everybody who told me I couldn't be anything. But still in the back of my mind, there's this voice saying, you're going to be somebody. You're going to do something. You can make it. It's the voice of my 3rd grade teacher. Because see, sometimes in life you have to sow the seed in the children. And it's about sowing that seed, that the seed may not germinate until 10 or 15 or 20 years from now, but you got to sow the seed. And when I was on the streets, I kept a job to support my habit, but I had rival gangs that were after me every day. They said, when we find you, we're going to kill you. We're going to get you. And it was just a matter of time. And then I got caught and sent to jail. I started stealing my dad's car, and I got caught one night, and the police come out, and they send me to court about 3 days later. And there I am in front of the judge with a bad attitude. The judge said, why aren't you doing the right thing? I said, man, I got things to do. How long is this going to take? And the judge kind of looks at me, he kind of looked like Judge Mathis, you know what I mean? Kind of looked at me and he said, boy, he said, you know who you're talking to? I said, man, look, I don't have time for that. I got things to do, bro. I mean, what? I got to go. I got things to do. I had a rough attitude. You know, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was hard, you know. I was in the gang. I was protected. I had a little 38. I thought I was all good to go. You know, I made a little money, you know, doing drugs, selling drugs. I thought I had it all going on. And then the judge tells me, he says, son, he says, I'm gonna give you about 90 days to think about it. So I'm thinking, I can go home and think about it for 90 days. I'm cool. I can think for 90 days. No, man. He been 90 days locked up. 303 West 2nd Street, juvenile detention. And man, let me tell you something. I'm 14 years old. Actually, that was 15. I'm sorry. And I thought I was hard. I thought I was rough. But my mama, the good thing, one of the things my mama did is she always raised us in the church. Mama started sending me to church at 7. And that's when the days when the church bus would come by and pick you up on Sundays, there was no excuse. So when he told me I was going to jail, I went to a Baptist church. So right then I got the Holy Ghost. I was like, sweet Jesus, I was out. So I fainted right, I was done. I'm looking for some ushers with some fans. I done fainted right there. And man, they come and grab me and they're taking me off to jail.